Hello and welcome to my Thursday forecast. Let's get started with the euro and the US dollar. Currently the euro is trending to the upside, so I am actually in a long trade right now currently. Let me take it back so I can talk about this trade. So what I was seeing at this point, I was seeing a nice big impulse, really large momentum. It was really clean and I was looking then for a long trade. So what we actually got right here, let me just check if this candle is counter trend. Yeah, so now the data is changed. This candle was actually part of the trend and now it's changed, so now this candle is counter trend. But when I was looking at it, it was the same high as this one, so it was part of the trend. So what I was then waiting for is a bump to form, and right here I actually got this bomb entry. So it was a very nice clean bomb. It was a textbook trade because we saw a nice large impulse and the bomb was small. There was no wick on the top, there was just a really small wick, so nothing major. And I was very willing to place a 1% risk rate here. So it was a textbook trade, and then price actually pushed to the upside. And currently I'm waiting, so I'm waiting to either lock in some profit or get stopped out on the trade. So what I would like to see currently is price break to the upside, and then I could lock in some profit and I would look for a continuation bump. Or I would like to see the price break to the upside and give me a bullet entry so I can scale into my position. We can also get this ascending from here, and if it's a clean ascending, I will look for a drop to the downside, look for a trade. Let me just delete this. Also, what can happen, we can just shoot to the downside from here, and then I would get stopped out and I would look for a short trade. Also, we can get a push, pull back another push, also look for a short trade. Maybe we get a descending from here, and if it's a clean descending, I would look for an impulse to the upside and look for a long trade. Or we can just stay ranging between the low and the high, because I know that the euro likes to do this, so it likes to range for a long time between the low and the high, so that is also a possibility. And I forgot also one option, we can push to the upside, get a pullback, another push. I would look for a bullet long trade and look to scale in. So yeah, currently on the euro I'm in a long trade from the bump, right from this candle, and waiting for the price to break the high or the low. Let's move on to the euro and the Japanese yen. So this pair I classify as ranging price action because we just broke the high, retraced, we broke the low, retraced, broke the low, retraced, then we broke the high, retraced, broke the high, got a big wick and retraced. Not really showing me any direction, not really showing me any momentum. I want to see more on the euro and the Japanese yen. I want to see a nice big push to the upside. So I would like to see something like this. Nice big push. Just a second. So maybe we get a nice big push, then a bomb trade. Or we get a nice big push, pull back another push, look for a bullet long trade. We can get a clean ascending structure. And then we push to the downside, look for a short trade. This is a high probability setup on the euro and the Japanese yen. Or maybe we will stay ranging between the low and the high. That is also a possibility. Same thing can happen to the downside, so I would like to see a nice big impulse, look for a short trade. Or I would like to see a nice big impulse, pull back another impulse, look for a bullet short trade. We can get this descending structure, and if it's a clean descending, I would look for an impulse to the upside, look for a long trade. So yeah, those are some of the possibilities on EJ. This pair is not really showing me any momentum. It is, to me personally, just ranging, so I'm waiting for a nice impulse and some nice momentum. Now for the Aussie and the US dollar. So I was actually in a trade right here. Let me take this back. So at this point I was seeing this nice impulse and I was seeing this large wick on top of the impulse. So I wanted to get in on a long trade, but it all depended on what happened next. So we got one pausing candle and then we got this push. So at this point I was looking at this and I was debating whether to place a pending long order at this level, and I first decided to stay out because it didn't fit my plan, but then FOMO kicked in, so I actually did place a pending order because I didn't want to miss out on this trade, and that was a bad call on my part. I should have stuck to my plan and not place a pending order, but it is what happens. So FOMO kicked in and I decided to actually place a pending long order, and then on the next candle I got tagged in. It actually showed more momentum to the upside, so if I was not already in this trade, I would definitely now look for a long trade and I would be placing a pending long order at this level, because this does fit my plan 100%. I see that we are trending to the upside, the pullbacks are really small, so one candle pullbacks, and when I see a large impulse and just one candle pullbacks, I know that there is a very high probability that we will continue to the upside. But as I was already in this trade, I couldn't place another trade and add more risk. That is one of the rules. And then I actually got stopped out of my trade. So I had a 120 pip stop. So I had this sort of a stop, but when we broke the high, I reduced my risk under the most recent low right here, and then got taken out by this candle. But that is just a part of the game and part of the probabilities. And then what happened, price continued to the upside, and currently we are trending to the upside. So yeah, I was in this long trade from this point, but then got stopped out. It didn't really fit my plan, but it was FOMO that kicked in and I placed a pending order. And then we broke the high with momentum. So currently at the top of this impulse I'm seeing a huge wick, and when I see a huge wick I actually want to see a combo to the entry. So maybe we get something like this. Then I would definitely be looking to enter on a trade. Because I'm seeing this combo, I'm seeing the first low, first high, and then it would be a bullet and bomb combination. But what I didn't want to see, so let me take it back. At this point I was seeing this continuation of the momentum and this huge wick, and what I didn't want to see is just a V reversal to the entry point. This would definitely not fit my plan. But as we are currently getting a combo trade, I'm definitely considering placing a pending order. So what I would like to see right here is that maybe we get an opportunity to enter, or maybe we get a push to the upside, nice big push, look for a long trade. Maybe we get the push and look for a bullet long trade. It depends on how we break the high, and if it's a clean close, we can get a push, pull back another push, look for a bullet long trade. Or we can get an ascending from here, and if it's a clean ascending, I would look for an impulse to the downside and look for a short trade. Same thing can happen to a downside. We can get this V reversal, and then so if this impulse is big enough, I would look for a bomb trade. Maybe we get a V reversal and then a small range, then a continuation of the second leg. This is a common pattern that occurs. We can also get a push, pull back another push, look for a bullet short trade, then we are seeing a trend to a downside. Or a possibility is also that we can get a descending structure, push to the upside, look for a long trade. And the last one that I can forecast is that we will just stay ranging between the low and the high. That is also a possibility, but since we are heavily trending from this point, I would say that we will not get a larger range, but that we will get either a nice push to the upside or a nice push to the downside. So currently I was seeing this large impulse, I was seeing a trend, then right here we saw a small range, but then we saw a continuation of the momentum and a continuation of the trend. So I classified this pair as trending to the upside, and I'm definitely looking for a long trade. But we need to see what happens. It all depends on how the candles form. So then the Aussie and the Japanese yen. As I was saying yesterday, I did place a short order right here. So at this point, let me take it back. So at this point, what I was seeing a large impulse, ascending structure that broke the high retraced, and then I saw some momentum to the downside. So after this candle, I was ready to place a pending short order, and actually I got tagged in and tagged out. So it was actually a losing trade, but it fit my plan. This is a setup that I like to take on the Aussie pairs. So when I see a large impulse and then an ascending that just breaks the high and retraces, I know that there are people's stops at this point, and that the stops have been taken out, and there is a high probability that we will continue to move to the downside. So I was willing to place that 1% risk. Then what we got an impulse to the upside. Let me just delete this. We got an impulse to the upside. We got a large wick. Then we got another large wick. And at this point I was seeing if we will get an aggressive retrace to the downside, or if we will get more of a range right here, and then I would maybe be looking for a long trade. So actually what we got at this point, we got an aggressive retrace, and when I see these large double wicks and I see an aggressive retrace on the Aussie and the Japanese yen, I am not really looking for any trade. It would really need to be a high probability setup in order to take this sort of price action. So at this point I was willing to sit out. We actually did get a bump opportunity. So at this point we broke this first low and got this bullish candle. So this would be the entry point for the bump, but it actually didn't fit my plan. And if I were in, I would get stopped out because I'm using a 12 pip stop. But this bump did continue to the upside. So if someone was in it with a bigger stop, maybe they would still be in this trade. But as I said, it didn't fit my plan and I was willing to stay out. So currently we broke the high, and to me we retraced. So we are trending to the upside. I do classify this as trending to the upside because you know that the Aussie the Aussie and the Japanese yen likes to trend correctively. But this is not enough for me to look for a long trade because I'm seeing this smaller range and I want to see more of a push when we break the high. This is not enough of a push for me, so I would not actually be looking for some sort of trade like this. I would like to see more of a push to the upside. Just a second. More of a push to the upside, and if we get this, I would look for a long trade. Or maybe we get more of a push, then I would look for a combo trade. We can get so we can also get a push, pull back another push, look for a bullet long trade, or we can get an ascending from here, then a push to the downside, look for a short trade. As I said, we did so we got this momentum, but then we did break the high, not really with enough momentum, and retraced. So maybe this is a warning sign that we will have this ascending structure, and if we do get an ascending structure, I would look for an impulse to the downside and a short trade. We can also stay ranging between the low and the high. That is also a possibility. Or what can happen, we can get this sort of V-reversal. Then we get a small range and then continuation of the second leg. That is a common pattern. Or we can get a nice big push to the downside, look for a short trade. We can also get a push, pull back another push, look for a short trade also. And this is signaling then a trend to a downside. I see one impulse, small pullback, and the continuation of the impulse. Also, we can get a descending from here, and if it's a clean descending, I would look for an impulse to the upside, look for a long trade. So yeah, that's it for the forecast. We are getting some movement. We are starting to break out of the ranges. The euro and the Aussie US dollar to me are looking good. The other two pairs, I need to see some more momentum. So yeah, that's it for the forecast, and I will see you in the next one.